All right. We are live. Welcome back to another episode of Token Narratives. I'm Graham Stone, joined by news and research gigabrain, Mr. David Sensel. How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good. Friday here in Asia. Happy to have that beautiful weather. So
Yeah,
very, very
I
happy.
saw
How about you?
well, there was a typhoon just went by you guys.
Yeah, missed us. So
Yeah.
we're doing good.
Well, it's always the day after the typhoon flies through in Tokyo is always the best.
Yeah,
You get
definitely.
nice clear skies, a bit of warm, moist air in the fall
Absolutely.
season. It's
I'll be
ideal.
going to the river tomorrow to capitalize on it. Hopefully the good weather will continue into
Nice.
tomorrow.
All
How are
right.
you
Well,
doing?
nobody wants to hear. I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, it's been a long week, long couple of weeks with our conferences and everything. Looking forward to a couple of days off here on the weekend, but nobody wants to hear about our personal plans, David. The
We don't
masses,
have
they want to
we don't have
know. They
groupies.
want to know. They want to know our our feelings on the markets, David. What's the gut?
Uh-huh.
What's your gut telling you? As we do, let's get into our gut check. So obviously, Bitcoin hit an all-time high a few days ago, $126,000. But I don't know about you, David, but the market feels calm to me. This does not feel euphoric. It feels like yeah, we had a bit of a pullback here, and it's very healthy, and it feels like, yeah, we've got lots of room to run.
Yeah, I agree. And also there's I remember when we got that KBW Korea Blockchain Week dump where we were kind of on
Yeah.
the conference floor and we didn't know where the hell that was happening. Well, there's been reports now that was a Chinese whale, and they were just going around to OTC desks and accepting any quote, and so then you just saw this like um, kind of precipitous sell off because of that. Don't know why they did it, but that's what I've been hearing. And we've just had like I don't know, maybe a month or two of people with a lot of Bitcoin deciding to summarily sell it, right? Like 10,000 plus kinds of kind of stock holes of Bitcoin selling it. So the market's absorbed it really, really well, and it looks like most of that selling's over. And now that you've had these large holders kind of just sell into this, I think we'll see some good Uptober price action. Q4 looks to be a banger. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let me just share my screen here. So there was this post from Panamax XBT. You know this guy, right?
No, maybe.
No. Oh, hold on, let me zoom in a bit here. Yeah, so we've got Bitcoin net realized profit loss. And basically, this chart he's posted just shows that, yeah, there's a lot of room here. It's profit taking is way below peak levels. He says short-term holders are barely locking in 2% gains. Long-term holders are riding 129% ROI without flinching, and OG wallets are barely spending. No signs of euphoria, no mass exit. This isn't distribution. It's the quiet before the next leg sends everyone chasing again. And so, yeah, you can see this purple here is like the net realized profit loss, and it's well below levels seen in the last bull run. So this would be a sign that there's a lot of room to run here.
Yeah, and then just in general, we're sitting at all-time highs here. Like you said, sentiment doesn't seem to be particularly euphoric, um, and it's not just in crypto. You're at all-time highs in equities. Gold is at an all-time high, and this doesn't seem like the end of the bull cycle. This seems like we're about to enter price discovery, right? This is how it feels for me, and so that's what my gut says. I think that's what you would predict from here on out. Is we might get like a crazy Q4. I guess the concern, if I have a concern, Graham, would be, so we're setting up to have some price discovery here where things could get heated. Usually when you have that, you're going to have a pullback afterwards. So I mean, and it feels very much like previous years where Q4 gets quite fun, and then in January, like last year, I think January, the Trump and Melania coin kind of kicked off a little sell off there for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. I don't know. It almost
Yeah.
feels like we might get a repeat of that, right? Where we get this nice bullish run up here in Q4 and then a cooling off period afterwards. But who knows what's going to happen? But that it does seem like we're going to repeat history.
Yeah. Let's talk about the gold versus Bitcoin issue or narrative, which a lot of people are talking about. So, okay, let's look at this chart here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the price of Bitcoin, Bitcoin priced in ounces of gold. So currently, one Bitcoin is about 30 ounces of gold. And the all-time high for Bitcoin in gold terms is about 41, 42 ounces of gold per Bitcoin. So someone who has done some technical analysis here, this guy at R89 Capital, he's put some lines on the chart. What is this called? It's like a rising wedge or something. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
TA
Anyway,
the astrology for men.
astrology for men. All right, but let's get into it because
Yeah,
I'm a man and I like astrology.
I'm
Um,
Sagittarius. Let's do it. I actually
so
don't know what I am. That's it.
yeah, currently the Bitcoin is at the bottom of this range in this wedge, so it's about 30 uh, ounces of gold per Bitcoin. Now, obviously, the price of gold is at an all-time high. It has risen a lot. Bitcoin hasn't really kept up with that. It's in the bottom of this range right now. So let's just, if Bitcoin were to get back to the top of that range, so let's say 36 ounces per what 36 ounces of gold for one Bitcoin. At the current price of gold, $4,000, that would translate to $144,000 per Bitcoin. So if it got to the top of this chart, right, assuming the price of gold stays the same, if Bitcoin were to then break out of this wedge, which the TA specialists will tell you that's the statistically the likely thing to happen at some point here in the next few months, and let's say it went into discovery in the gold versus Bitcoin pair, and it went back up to its all-time high of, let's say, 41 ounces per gold, 41 ounces of gold per Bitcoin at $4,000 per Bitcoin. That would put the price of Bitcoin at about 164K, right? Now, gold is also continuing to rise. So let's say people are saying $5,000 in the next few months is not out of the question. That would be pretty insane. If both of those things were to happen at the same time, so $5,000 gold and the price of Bitcoin hitting its all-time high in gold terms, then you'd be looking at over $200,000 per Bitcoin. So the numbers do not lie, David. We're heading to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're heading to the moon. The the thing that would cause concern for me is how quickly are we heading to the moon? And if we got to like 200K BTC by the end of the year, I think I personally would take some off and expect a cooling down period. Not the end of the bull cycle, just yeah, that seems a little hot for me. Um, but I mean, this all seems reasonable. I do think if gold reached 5,000, um, that would give me more cause for concern, honestly, because gold doesn't move usually doesn't move like that. It's a much bigger market, more mature market, and to see it have big moves like that, to me would be a sign of a lot of speculation. So
Well, there's like the gold trade right now, and I think we'll get into this with another topic we've got here, the debasement narrative. The gold trade is perhaps indicative of like a geopolitical shift or macroeconomic shift, right? So if it gets too heated, like things could get pretty wild.
well, that's what I'm saying is I
Yeah,
think what I'm saying is I could see gold going to 5,000. That would make me concerned. Then I would probably
yeah.
take more off because it'd be like, this is no longer about fundamentals. This is no longer based in reality whatsoever. It's just a kind of a speculative mania narrative kind of
Well, no,
thing.
what I'm saying is it's not necessarily speculative. What I'm saying is it's a paradigm shift, perhaps, right? I mean,
See,
that's the type of
see,
thing
no, but
people say uh
exactly. That's
at the
exactly the
top,
point.
right?
That's exactly the
Exactly.
point, Graham. That is exactly what
Yeah.
you're saying right now causes me
Yes.
concern
Yes.
is
Yes. Yes. It's
the way that these things
classic euphoria talk, right? It's
yeah,
paradigm shift.
David,
We're
no,
in a
you
new
don't
regime.
understand. You don't understand. This is going to the moon forever. Everything is different now.
Yeah.
um
So you're right. Tempered uh actions is the way
and
forward.
again, this is not to say I don't think gold should be at 5,000, but just it's the time frame. Should it be at 5,000 this year? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And again, we'll get into this later, but it's the common the common order of things is you have something new, people get excited about it because it is new and it's good and it's exciting, uh, and then it starts to get you have a repricing because this new thing and people didn't know what it was and what it's going to do, and then a narrative takes over, right? and
Yeah.
and then the narrative far exceeds where it is currently in time,
Yeah.
right? It's the classic people overestimate in the short term and underestimate in the long term. That's the kind of thing it is. It's right. Yeah, we're gold is going to go to whatever it is, 100 billion K, but it's not going to do that by 2026 Q1. So,
Yeah. Well, so one thing that I thought was kind of funny, people have been saying, what's going to hit 5K first, gold or ETH? So I like
all
that
right,
one.
Graham. Yeah. What's your answer? What's your answer, Graham? I want to know.
I think it's actually more likely that Ethereum hits 5K before gold.
Wow.
If gold hits 5K before Ethereum, then yeah, it's wild times, I think. Because I
Yeah.
mean, like Ethereum is a hair's breadth away from 5K. For gold to move from where it is now 4K to 5K, that's like trillions of dollars moving into gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because what's the
agree.
gold market cap? Like, is it 10,
10
20
trillion,
trillion?
10,
10?
11 trillion, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So 25%, that's like 2.5 trillion or something dollars would have to move into it, according to my yeah, purely
Awesome.
genius math there. Anyway,
But
um,
I'll say this though. So again, going part of this is what we talked about before, but just to kind of reiterate for people, gold gold has gone ahead, and Bitcoin, gold, and I guess equities have both kind of pushed ahead, and Bitcoin is kind of
yeah,
just kind of has lagged behind. Um,
yeah,
and I think the reason for that is what I said before, which is you've had these very large sellers of Bitcoin in the past month or two, and it hasn't artificially kept the price down, but it has kept the price muted, while these other things have not had anything like that just because of the market structure. And so I really think you would expect a kind of a catch up play in Q4 for this. Even if this
yeah,
is not true, even if let's just say that what I said is not true, it's a narrative that people are circulating, which at least in terms of price action could make it true, where people then pile into Bitcoin expecting that there to be a catch up, which would then cause a
yeah,
catch up.
yeah. And another element here, which we sort of touched on, is yeah, stocks. Right, stocks are outperforming, and retail investors are investing in the stock market at record levels. So, according to the Colbasi letter, retail investors bought $105 billion of US stocks over the last month, which is the largest monthly purchase ever. So, people are making stocks are popping off like that. That's sort of like in people who are trading altcoins in the last cycle are instead trading stocks in this cycle, which is part of the reason probably why altcoins are so depressed and the people in crypto Twitter are so depressed. But you could see a scenario where, like at some point, these people who have done very well, retail traders have done very well in the stock market, rotate over to greener pastures, perhaps. Like they start to identify that, crypto hasn't kept up,
Yeah.
and that could be a trigger for like an alt season, but also just more money moving into Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean, this I agree 100%. You'll as you see kind of people get a taste for the returns in the stock market, and they use apps like Robinhood and whatnot that also offer crypto, and then I mean, crypto just offers way higher multiples returns, right? And so
Yeah.
if you start to see Bitcoin get like 50 whatever it is 20-30% rally, and then all these altcoins go up a lot. You had like Zcash go up 100% in a week. This kind of stuff, that's gonna lure or kind of catch the attention of all these retail traders in boring equity land who are like celebrating over their whatever 10% Robinhood gains. It's like 30% actually, I think, in a month. But I mean, very respectable. But that they'll why wouldn't they just pile into crypto after that?
Yeah, I think that's a decent. There's a decent likelihood of that happening. We'll talk about some of the the narratives, the hot narratives, where you may want to start looking into here later. But maybe let's first talk more about the debasement trade.
Yeah,
So that's
big
been
narrative
all
now.
over the timeline. Been yes, people talking about debasement. What does that actually mean? Uh, Maybe let's start there. What does the
Right.
debasement trade actually mean?
So um, this really it basically means that dollars are losing value versus hard assets like gold and maybe Bitcoin or even equities. And so the trade is you short dollars, long hard assets, basically, or simply put, just sell your dollars for hard assets, which is essentially shorting dollars and longing hard assets, in particular gold. Although silver has also done really really well too, right? It's like I think it's had an amazing run so far. I'm seeing all these crazy silver charts on the timeline saying like, oh, here it is, and now it's going to here. So you're
Yeah.
getting all this kind of thing happening. Um, Now the 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 biggest cause I think of this debasement trade is the fact that gold has gone up so much, right? It's doubled in the past 2 years, I believe, and it's this year hit all time high after all time high, um, and this is like a classic narrative in crypto, right? Going back for a decade uh, about fiat debasement. So it's kind of like always present in crypto, but right now it seems to be like a leading narrative, and it has this moniker now, the debasement trade. Um, Now, is it uh, a debasement trade? We can get into that. Before we continue, do you have any questions or comments so far, Graham?
Excellent intro. No questions or comments. Please continue.
All right. Okay. So you have gold ripping, you have equities at all time highs, and the dollar has been in the toilet. You look at like the Dixie, um, or trading pairs with like other major currencies. The dollar hasn't done well. This seems like an easy slam dunk. Of course, there's a debasement trade. Um, you have things like in the backdrop, America unable to, with Trump, the new admin said that they were going to be able to reduce how much debt we were going to take on per year. That hasn't worked out at all. What was that thing called? The Doge, right? The Department of Government
What was
Efficiency.
it called?
Yeah,
How
it's
soon you forget.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all anyone was ever talking about
Yeah.
earlier this year.
That's right. Yeah.
Now you
Doge didn't
barely even
work.
remember what it was. Yeah. The
Exactly.
Adderall ran out.
Doge didn't work at all. The government spending hasn't been reduced, I think, at all. If anything, it's gone up. So in the backdrop, you have all these concerns about the ability of the U.S. to fund itself. Debasement trade, right? Now, is it really that simple? All right, and I want to look at a couple basic things. For a debasement trade, you really want to have, in simple terms, you want to have hard assets, which are increasing um, versus the currency. That's the simplest way, but is that too simplified? So, for example, look at the USD JPY pair. Um, that has seen recently a huge reversal. We're now at, as of right now, I think I just looked. We're basically at 153. $1 at 153. So we're starting to get pretty heated uh, with the USD JPY. It's not looking good for that. And so the dollar is strengthening versus other currencies. You could also look at this versus the Dixie, right? DXY. And it looks like this is probably bottomed and is starting to reverse as well. And then you could see it start to strengthen and really run up as well. This would only increase as countries like Japan, with their new prime minister, hopefully new prime minister, kind of promise that they're going to start printing money. And I
Yeah.
think
Everyone's saying about the new PM, first woman prime minister of Japan, uh, Takaishi Sanae, that she's going to run it hot. Right. That's what I keep hearing.
that's right.
She's a run it hot. Run it
She's
hot.
going to run it hot.
Right.
And we don't need to get into Japanese politics because maybe people don't really care, but basically they can do that. It'll cost savers, which Japan is full of, but probably will be good for the economy, at least for a while. Anyway, so you expect this trend to. I would expect this trend to keep going up. We're at 152.9, 153 now. I think you could be at like 160 easily by the end of the year, Graham. That's wild, right? That's 160 is kind of where it topped out last time. If it gets to 160, it could go up even more. The Dixie could reverse. You could see it hit up like one into the mid 100s, like 105, 109, something like that. We're at like 99 right now. So again, the dollar debasing maybe in absolute terms, but not against other currencies, especially if these countries start to print money. Now that it seems to be okay, China's looks like it's going to do it. Japan, the EU, I think America will too. Right? This is goes to Arthur Hayes's point last or at K. What was it? WebEx. But if you get into like a money printing race, the dollar is the best situated to handle that in terms of that kind of thing. All right. Compare the dollar to other commodities though, specifically oil, right? So if the dollar is being debased very badly, you'd expect oil to be going up a lot. But oil's kind of futzing around in the 60s. I think it's 66 right now, crude. It's like 66. WTI is about 66 right now. You don't see that spiking. So that's a hint that could be a hint at a number of things. Probably we know that like the economy is slowing down. China's producing less, using less oil, so that could kind of keep oil prices down. But also in dollar terms, you don't see stress. You don't see stress that that the currency is being debased. That would hint that this is not a quite cut and dry debasement trade.
So what is it?
Um, so it was interesting on Bips and Bits. I forgot who was talking about it. Great podcast. People should listen to that. The the one idea that I heard, which is interesting to me, I don't know if I quite believe it, but I think it sounds directionally right to me, which is similar to what we were just talking about with this gold trade, is that you have this thing that starts as like a kernel of truth, right? This whole year and last year, it was all about like the U.S. debt. Can you know, can the U.S. get its debt levels down? Can it get its spending under control? Doge. Oh no, Doge didn't work. What's going on with that? The dollar, the Dixie has been kind of in a decline the entire year, right? Oh no, the dollar's going down. Meanwhile, you've seen Bitcoin and gold and equities rise, right, at the same time. So it feels like, yes, you have this like nugget of truth that there was this maybe hedge against the declining dollar. But then it becomes a narrative, which kind of takes on its own life, and it kind of becomes detached from reality, from the underlying numbers, and then you get a flywheel basically, and then it starts to take off on its own, right? Like, yep, it's definitely a debasement trade, and 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 then that momentum, that inertia, just keep going in the in those different directions. But I've listened to other people like Brett Johnson. I think it's Brett Johnson,
Yeah, the
Santiago
milkshake.
Capital, milkshake guy. The dollar, the Dixie is very cyclical, right? And the cyclicality of the dollar really echoes across the entire world on like every level, every asset, um, and and if you look at it from like a multi-year view, the Dixie going up and down like this is not that big of a deal. So if you kind of zoom out, you could say in a smaller time frame, you might say, oh yeah, the Dixie's going down because people have lost confidence in the dollar, and America can't pay for its stuff anymore. You zoom out to like multi-year, right? Like on the monthly chart, it for like you put like like a decade, right? It starts to look a little less like, oh well, we haven't seen these kinds of levels before. Now, all this is to say is, I think that maybe the debasement trade is getting a little ahead of itself, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some of this slow down, at least for gold. I think Bitcoin can catch up to it, but I think maybe it's not quite cut and dry that the dollar that you have this debasement trade. I still think that there's truth there to it, though.
Okay.
What do you think? I know you're a dollar bear at heart.
Um, well, not really. I subscribe to the milkshake theory that it's the cleanest shirt in the pile of laundry,
Yeah,
the pile of dirty
cleanest
laundry,
cleanest dirty shirt.
cleanest dirty shirt. So um, I don't expect the dollar to. I expect the dollar to perform better than most currencies. Then there will be emerging currencies that the dollar doesn't perform as well against, I think, but against the major currencies, I think, and also the long tail of most countries that are kind of like basket cases, the dollar is just going to continue to be a better store of value than most currencies. Yeah, but
Okay,
in
so
gen, but um, the fiat debasement trade, I'm fully on board with that. Like all fiat currencies relative to hard assets, whether it be Bitcoin, stocks, or commodities, that's just going to keep going in the same direction it's gone for the last 100 years.
Yeah. Well, so I think in the long term that's true, like a 5 to 10 year horizon. But I do think you could get a situation where, let's say that there is a recession. And I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon. But let's say there's a recession or some kind of, I don't know, uh, crisis. I do think you could get into a situation where um, everybody wants dollars, and then the dollar does really well. And if the dollar does really well, that causes everything to do poorly. I mean, for lots of various reasons, because
Yeah.
basically you have to pay your debts in dollars, and uh, then you have to start selling everything to get enough dollars to pay for stuff, which causes the dollar to go up, which causes you to have to sell more stuff, and on and on and on. So, I mean, um, in the long term, I do think that there is a debasement trade, but to me, trade seems more like a short term thing,
Yeah.
just by the wording of it. So that to me seems a little different. That it's like a strong narrative right now. Like I said, it's been in crypto for like 10 years or more, right? Like, oh, you hold Bitcoin or gold to as a hedge against debasement. I don't know if I would call that a trade though. A trade is like it feels like a short term thing.
Well, semantics. Let's get into the this mortgage-backed securities thing you put in the doc, David.
Okay, so
why is this in here?
This is to show you that it's a little more complex than just a cut and dry uh, debasement trade, as in hard assets good, hedge against profligate fiat debasement. So, um, Office CMBS, commercial mortgage-backed securities. Basically, you you take uh, you take mortgages from commercial real estate, which would be your office buildings and things of that nature. You bundle them all up, and then you sell them. You sell all these commercial real estate mortgages as these securities, right? So office CMBSs are are at the highest delinquency rate, 11.7%, which is the highest rate in history, right? Now, you would think that real estate would do really well in a debasement trade, right? Because there's a there's a very finite amount of land. People want land. And so if there's more and more money because of debasement, then real estate should do well, right? I mean, this is
Well,
like
yeah, but isn't it more complicated because we're talking about office real estate
I know.
here, which
Well, no,
everyone knows
I
is kind of cooked because of work from home or remote work.
I know, Graham. I get that. What I'm saying though is that I'm giving the simple scenario, right? Which is real estate should do well, right? Because of
Yeah.
debasement. In this case, obviously, it isn't. Part of the reason is what you said, which is work from home has really kind of destroyed a lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
And
that and the like post-apocalyptic hellscape that is most major downtown cores in the
yeah,
US.
left leaning cities, which almost all cities in the US are, have been terribly managed, and they're like Mad Max crossed with like I don't know, Requiem for a Dream or something like that. So yeah. It's
Ios to Ios. I'm sorry.
that's all good. So
Go ahead.
yeah. No, but so you're getting these situations where it's not as simple as just there's debasement and then you can hold on to real estate. That's the basic point. This gentleman goes into a little more detail about how this could be structural. It's what institutions are mandated to invest in, and those historical investments are no longer viable when you have a lot of fiat debasement coming into play. So there is a fiat debasement component, but it's not. Again, my whole point of including this is it's not as simple as um, hold on to hard assets because the fiat is worth less now, and you're going to probably see this delinquency rate increase. Eventually, it'll work itself out. This land is quite valuable, and so you'll see something like in the future. But at this moment, no.
Yeah. Well, there are broader trends to consider. Commercial real estate, probably not the best investment just yet.
I mean,
Bitcoin
I think if you're,
as a debase as a Bitcoin or gold as the way to express the debasement trade seems like in the right lane. While not all assets are going to be boosted by this idea of just fiat currencies being debased. Not all assets are going to appreciate in the same way, and
yeah.
there are reasons for that.
And I mean, again, we've talked about this before, but I also think that there are reasons why you would go for gold um, and real estate over Bitcoin. So, so for example, I imagine that gold is going to be a lot less volatile when there is a correction. I still think Bitcoin, despite now institutions buying and kind of, I don't know, businesses through treasuries, I still imagine you're going to see some pretty stomach churning drops. Probably not like 70% or anything crazy like that, but I mean, could it be like 30 or 40%? I don't see why not, honestly. It's still a pretty small market. Um, so yeah, I mean, you might want to hold gold in that case if you really care about debasement in the short term. Um, and you real estate would be good if you want a place to live and you're worried about the real estate prices just going up into the right forever because of the value because dollars or whatever your local fiat is being debased so hard. So I mean, there are things to consider in this regard.
All right, let's
Yeah,
move on to the ever increasing speed of the narrative shift in the crypto markets.
token narratives.
Maybe one way to kick this discussion off is to reflect upon how far or how things have changed in the last year. And David, in the pre-show, you were talking about a segment that was aired from Token 2049 Singapore, the Steady Lads live panel or whatever.
Podcasts.
Live pod. Uh, where they were just noting that like at Token 2049 Singapore a year ago, all anyone was talking about was meme coins. It was all the Murad thesis. Meme coins are like, everyone was so excited about that a year ago. And
Graham, what is the Murad thesis?
the Murad thesis is that meme coins are, it's all about these like communities and the strength of the community and what are some of the other things.
It was basically, the way I understand it, and the only reason I remember is because the lads were talking about this, but it's basically everything is a meme coin, right?
Yeah,
Including
everything's a meme coin. Yeah, we were
including
full on
Bitcoin.
financial nihilism a year
Yeah, yeah,
ago.
yeah. Everything's a meme coin, including Bitcoin, and there are different gradations, or whatever gradings of meme coins. You have like, I forgot the different levels, but at the top you had like with cults, or I forgot what what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
that's
Like
right.
he made a pyramid, right?
God was the very top, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Religions.
Religions.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so there's different like gradations of meme coins, and the meme coins that will last and actually retain value. And by meme coins, he means every single coin, including Bitcoin. Um,
yeah,
is something that has a fundamental, um, has a more fundamental message, right? like I think so. For example, SPX, he was all about SPX 9000. Now, if you
Yeah.
bought it when Murad said it, you did really well. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. But that thesis was basically like we are replacing web.
TradFi.
Yeah, we're replacing TradFi, right? And this has a better, clearer, pure message than something like I don't know, whiff dog whiff hat, right? Which is just
Yeah.
like it's a funny dog with a hat, and so that message um, is
Yeah.
is is a lot more powerful. And then Bitcoin, right? Uncensorable digital gold,
Replace fiat.
incredible, yeah, incredible message, right?
Yeah.
So, but that took over, and everybody got on board. Like this is how it's all going to work. And that was 1 year ago. It was done 1 year
Yeah.
ago.
And since then, there have been a dozen narratives, perhaps. We had the short-lived AI narrative, which I got wrecked on personally. Uh, and
I was
throughout the
early enough.
year, yeah. Well, so was I guess, but round tripped it and then some. Uh, so yeah, live and learn. Um, but yeah, recently we've seen like a reacceleration, I think, of the seasons or the narratives, right? So we had okay, well, that one lasted pretty long. It seems like
Well,
that's on its last legs.
but it didn't last
Actually,
that long, really. Like what, 3 or 4 months, maybe, if that.
yeah, okay,
Like that, the crazy DAT trade was. I mean, I guess we talked about it a lot this year, but so maybe that was like the long one of the longest ones.
yeah. And recently we've got the perp dex narrative. Um, I guess that's still in play.
I think it's kind
But
of slowed down a little bit.
yeah, there's the hot ball of money. Then moved on to B&B season. Um,
That was like last week.
yeah, and that seems to have popped already.
It's crazy, dude. I mean that was like a week of tons of meme coins blowing up on BNB. This was all caused by Aster, right? So the Aster Dex was in the
Trillions.
perp was it the Aster
That's
Dex was in
that's
the
the
was
Aster
it
one.
was that was the perp Dex thing. Aster, which is BNB backed, CZ backed, um, basically caught attention from like Solana and Hyperliquid and focused it on BNB, or is it BNB chain now? Is that, or is it BSC? What are we calling it now?
Um, I think
I've seen
it's
both.
it's endlessly confusing, but I believe the correct name, according to Binance's blogs, is currently BNB Smart Chain.
Jesus. So a lot of the people that I follow just say BSC, which everybody knows from the
That's what it
past, which is
was from
Binance Smart Chain.
originally. Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm going to use that for this episode. So
yeah.
BSC
Why don't we just
basically got
rename it Strategy?
yeah,
Let's just rename
or
it,
no,
or let's just
what
rename
name it?
it Chain.
Blockchain.
Chain.
Blockchain.
No, you don't get to do that, Binance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Name it crypto. Name it crypto, or name it Bitcoin. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's already a thing, by the way. So all those Aster people, there was people who made money. Apparently, I'm skeptical actually, but it brought attention to BSC, and then um, all the shit coins started coming out on it, and it was just like it was wild. It was all over my timeline. But then, as of this morning, dude, I think it was this morning. I saw posts. Oh, this is 2 days ago. People woke up and they were down 90% plus. Every coin was down 90% in like six
Yeah.
hours. Like I
Yeah.
mean, the season just ended instantly, and
Yeah.
then that's that. Now, um,
What's next?
one
People are
season
talking. Yeah.
that we failed to mention was the kind of the short-lived pump.fun
Ah,
alt
right.
pump.fun
Yes.
season. You remember that?
The launch pad season.
Yeah. And so that was basically kicked off because Pump completed their IPO, right?
Yeah.
Um, and right around that time, you had the oh god, what was it? Bonk fund, whatever
Yeah.
it
Let's
was.
bonk or something.
Let's bonk, yeah. And then there was like another launch pad on Base, and another launch pad on Avalanche, and I'm missing one. Anyway, you had this very short-lived season. Mostly it was that bonk one, and then that disappeared within like I would say less than a month, right?
Yeah.
So, um, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Things are popping off, and
Oh,
it's very short lived, these seasons. So go ahead. What?
sorry. Just one more season that we're currently in, and I think we're at the tail end of. We have this privacy coin season that we're in,
Privacy
right?
coin season.
Right. That's
That's
been
right.
like a week, maybe 2 weeks. Zcash doubled, I think, in a week.
Yeah.
You've seen some other privates. You see, but here's my thing: is because of how short-lived these things are. I just don't see this privacy season lasting. I think it's over. Personally, I think it's done. I would not buy any of the privacy coins, not because they're good, not good projects. They're really good projects, but I think that
They pumped.
it's pumped. Yeah. So I
They
think the
pumped,
privacy
and
season is done.
fundamentally, people still don't care about privacy.
No.
Sadly.
I mean, the reason that the season kicked off is that several people do care and they were very vocal. Mert,
Yeah.
um, Ivan from the Bitcoin Takeover podcast, they've been talking about Zcash all year. I've
Vlad.
seen them.
Vlad.
Vlad, sorry, not Ivan. They've been talking about privacy all year, and specifically Zcash. So they've been beating that drum for a long time, and then it finally kind of catches. And then, but yeah, the reason that it went up in a week or two is those people don't care about it, right? Um, so I think the game here now is you have to kind of anticipate what the next season's going to be
Yeah.
and get in early.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay, so
Thank you for
that's
that,
kind of yeah. That's kind of like it's kind of like telling a fat person.
profound advice.
It's kind of like
So what you
telling a
got to
fat
do, right, is
person
you got to buy low, okay, and sell
sell
high.
high,
But
sell high.
you're absolutely right, David.
No, but
It's
let me
time to
give let
lock
me
in and anticipate the next season.
well no, but so let me give some what I'm let me give some actual I think advice on this, which is um what kicked off the B&B season. So let's kind of let's dissect a couple of these. Pumped the Launchpad season. What kicked that off? It was Pump.fun IPOing, right?
Yeah.
That that was enough of a thing. What kicked off the perp deck season? Aster launching, right?
Yeah.
And then the second Aster launches and it does well, you're like, I need to buy any other like perp decks, and a lot of them ran.
Yeah.
Um, what kicked off the B&B season was Aster doing well. So
Yeah.
that took you that all if you saw Aster do well, you say, okay, that's on B&B.
Yeah.
I should buy B&B meme coins, right? Like that's a not a bad jump.
Yeah. Another one is it's Coinbase talking about launching their token, Base launching their token, right? And then sure enough, you're now seeing coins popping off in the Base ecosystem, like Zora, I think just did like 60%. It just got listed on Robinhood and immediately proceeded to pump 60%. So the trigger there being like, okay, Coinbase is launching a chain, and maybe also there's this idea of the wallets launching their tokens finally, like MetaMask. Um, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how to express that one, but
I think you'd have to find something that's already existing on chain, because I think what's happening is these little like kind of I don't want to say schizophrenic narratives, but there's like kind of like methamphetamine narratives, right? Are like basically people see it really is quite stupid. Anyway, you see some kind of like event where a lot of money is being either spent, invested, or created, right? Pump.fun, ICO, a lot of investment there. Aster, giving away a lot of money. A lot of people made money. That kind of stuff then creates kind of like a nexus of attention, and people then try to find out what it is. Anyway, so I think maybe a test for us is Polymarket. This is in the news. This is like 2 days old. Polymarket just got the owners of NYSE to invest $2 billion, I think, into Polymarket. Right, this is the big news. The founder now is like the youngest self-made billionaire ever. There's going to be a Poly Market token airdrop apparently incoming, is the rumor. I think then the name of the game is to play this is you get on Poly Market. That's the easy one. You should have already been doing that. But then find out other prediction markets on other chains, and they'll probably pump, right?
Yeah.
Like, so a Solana Poly Market, a Solana prediction market, a base prediction market maybe, and again, in for a quick pump, right?
Yeah,
and I think
I like that. That's a good analysis there, David. I like that.
So I might be too late.
Yeah,
it might be too. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
What you do
probably
is
if you look into it, I bet some of these tokens, if there are if they exist, they've already pumped.
Yeah,
but they might still have another 1 or 2x in them still.
Yeah,
because
so
people are late to it.
Yeah, so I think the game is you see a headline like that, like, oh, new Polymarket billionaire, and then you just kind of try to make 1 or 2 jumps away from that. Like, oh,
yeah,
prediction markets are going to be hot. People are going to buy prediction markets because headline about $1 billion prediction market. Yeah. I'm going to buy a cheap prediction market and sell it instantly.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Fart coin launches and you try to buy the next AI coin, right? That worked for a while.
Yeah,
as an example.
But it's gotten so tight now. It's gotten
fast,
so fast, right? So,
so maybe the last thing I want to share here for the week is kind of related to this. So I was scrolling a bit on the gram last night, and just looking through the AI slop, and this crypto thing pops up, right? It's like someone selling their wares, right? A crypto KOL influencer being like, hey, here's my system. Just all you got to do is sign up. Just give me your email, sign up, and I'll show you how to make the real gains in crypto. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to be in the trenches and identify the upcoming themes and narratives, and think for yourself and make bets there. You just got to sign up to my platform. But I don't know. It's just I haven't seen these for a while. These shills like this, and this one just really struck me. I want to play a little bit of it, David, and just get your reaction.
Go ahead.
Here. All right. So
I haven't seen this, by the way. I haven't seen this. This will be my first time.
I can get this one here. Where is it? Uh-oh. Let me try to bring it over here. Sorry about this, guys.
The AI slop has gotten funnier, in my opinion. People really starting to embrace the absurdity.
Protecting their principal. Spoiler alert. It's not on Coinbase. It helps invest. Hi, I'm Tan, and I'm an ex-Wall Street investment banker and CFA charter holder. My company helps investors systematically grow their crypto portfolios in the native markets while protecting their principal. Spoiler alert. It's not on Coinbase. So let me start by showing you some undeniable proof. All right, so I'm going to show you some of my crypto wallets. Here's one with over 1.3 million. I'm going to refresh so you can see.
Oh, that's undeniable.
Here's another one. So this one has around 600K. And here you can see I'm connected to my LinkedIn profile.
Is that his
Here's
yacht?
a couple others. This one has around 900K. I'll refresh. This one has around 1.1 million. And this is Decentralized Masters, my company's Instagram page. All right, now that I have your attention and you know I'm not bullshitting you, let me expand. In my first crypto cycle in 2016, 2017, I made over $1 million and I lost it all. I gave back all my gains to the market. In my second crypto cycle in 2021, I turned $57,000 into more than 1.87 million, and that's 32x. And in this cycle, I'm managing well over 8 figures. Now, a bit more on who I am and why you should probably listen to me. Hi, my name is Tan Guerra, and I'm an ex-Wall Street investment banker and CFA charter holder. Here's my story.
All right,
Coming from a poor immigrant family, I was never handed anything for free.
Oh my God.
Enough?
Yeah, that's I mean, I'll say this, the production value is pretty darn good. Just I'm kind of getting into the nerdy side of this stuff. He was well lit. He wasn't underexposed. So the music was a little hilarious though. It sounded I guess serious slash scary, which I don't really get. But yeah, I can tell that see that being very convincing to a lot of especially new people, right? Because you don't have your defenses
deploying
up.
all the typical strategies, social proof, track record.
Yeah, he looks serious. Yeah, he looks serious. It didn't look.
The thing that
he talked about losing money.
Yeah, exactly. The thing that popped up on my Instagram feed was him in a podcast with an extremely attractive young lady, who was the interviewer, and he was being interviewed. So he's like in that demonstration is showing that he's being interviewed by people, right? Like he's famous, right? They want to know. The people want to know.
He's famous and he's real, right? Otherwise, why
real.
They wouldn't want to interview a scammer, right?
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah. And so, I didn't make it through to the end of the video. You sign up, you give your email, right? And he shows you how to make it in the native markets.
I know.
Not on Coinbase.
I thought some of the that was like the most glaring copy problem I heard.
Yeah. What are the native markets? I started thinking of Hyperliquid native markets, but no, that can't be it. He's just talking about the
on-chain,
tokens before they hit.
Right?
Yeah. On chain, right? It's which is exactly kind of what we've been saying here, which you got to forget that the tokens obviously you buy the token. If you want to get that 100x, right, you got to buy the tokens before they hit Robinhood and Coinbase. Obviously.
On their native markets.
Anyway,
so what's your takeaway?
Scammers are out in full force. That's my takeaway. The scammers are out in full force. They're spending money on the ads. They're trying to attract the retail people from who've made it in stocks or whatever, and they've got some capital to deploy, and they don't know what's going on in crypto. Here you go. Here's your expert. It's like remember Ty, the guy from the 2017 was his name?
Yeah, I do.
Ty.
Yeah.
This guy reminds me of him.
His newsletters were like 10 grand or something like that, right? Like he released I think it's every Thursday or something. He released a newsletter, and like the sub to it was like 5 to 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
And people would sub.
The guys,
they would pull their money together, and then they would sub, and then they would distribute it out to all the people in the Discord chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway,
but you would say then that this is a sign that the market is heating up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This kind of stuff makes me feel sad, because it's sad to see people get preyed upon. Who fall for this. And that honestly, that was slick. It was pretty good. So
very eye
what a
catching.
shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. I just hope
we need to up our production value here, David.
We need a music that goes do 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 do.
And we need to get people signed up to our just 1.1 Bitcoin per month. That's it.
We need your background, and especially my background. This is super sus, like, hey, I'm a crypto expert, and you just like see a blank wall with posters on the ground. This is obviously
when are you going to hang up those posters, David?
I haven't decided.
You're just going to be leaving it on the ground there forever, or
well, maybe I haven't decided which ones I want because of the reflections. But we need what's it called? We need to have Dubai backgrounds, Graham. Where's the pools in the background? And we need a couple young ladies walking behind us with bikinis, right? Just walking by. Never
it's a little over the top.
Never acknowledged, never mentioned. Just kind of strolling around.
They pour your tea every now and then, light your cigars.
Yeah. You yell at them, "This is too cold!" Things like that.
Intern!
Where's my intern? That's coming. That is coming. For those who
All right, David. It's coming. This has been fun. Let's wrap it up, yeah?
Well, one last thing. I'll just say, indulge me, Graham. It's so nice to not be doing token narratives, not at a conference. It's good to be back in the regular environs. Because we've done token narratives from a place not home for a 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks.
Yeah. This is nice. It's nice.
Yeah. Although, I enjoyed the energy of Korea and Singapore for sure. A lot of movers and shakers out there. Very cool to meet these people, get their insights.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. That's another episode of Token Narratives, episode 74. We'll be back next week with our 75th consecutive unbroken episode of greatest token narrative focused crypto podcast
in the galaxy,
in the multiverse. All right, that's it. See you later.